$268,000. That's how much Chris and I spent on our surrogacy journey to expand our family. And 4 years later, we are still paying it off. I've touched on this subject in the past, but I see a lot of new faces out there and have seen your comments asking about our family. So let's talk about it. 99.9% of the cost was out of pocket for Chris and I. The only thing that we didn't have to pay for that I can recall was our health screening. So blood and urine test, cholesterol, diabetes, heart disease, very similar to the annual that you get every year with your doctor. Before we even started, we talked to some friends of a friend who owned their own IVF and surrogacy clinic. We told them what we wanted to do, and they kind of gave us an estimate of around $100,000 to $150,000 when all said and done. By no means is that a small amount of money. However, Chris and I sold our home, and the profit that we made from the sale matched that amount. So in our minds, we were thinking, great, we have the money, we can proceed forward. Turns out, just like a lot of traditional pregnancy journeys, ours had a lot of complications and ups and downs and things that we didn't expect. After the health screenings and the psych evaluations, our process was to find a surrogacy agency. We wanted a one-stop shop that could help us find an egg donor, locate us a surrogate, that could recommend the best of the best IVF doctors, and help us create the family that we always dreamt of. The first egg donor that we connected with seemed great. She was older and had already done a very large number of retrievals for other couples and individuals. And our IVF doctor was concerned that because she had done so many, and because she's older, there was no guarantee that the retrievals would produce a large number of eggs. And number two, a large percentage of those eggs would be viable. This was obviously after we had already connected, we quote unquote matched, put her through psych evaluations, which all of that cost money. That's all out of pocket for us. So our agency went back to the drawing board and found a number of donors that would be better qualified for us, fewer transfers and younger in age. We ended up matching with a donor here in San Diego. We never met in person. This was all happening during COVID in 2020 and 2021. Face-to-face was not really possible in the beginning. So we contracted with that donor. She went through her psych evaluations, her health screening, all approved. She'd only done one transfer before, so that was really great for us. And then she was put on medication to get her body ready for a retrieval. Before I go any further, please know these amazing women, the donors within our agency, surrogates through the agency, are not forced to do any of this. This is all voluntary. This is all something that they want to do. This is their decision, their choice with their bodies. A lot of people think we're forcing someone to have an egg retrieval or forcing someone to carry our embryos in hopes to produce children in the end. These women are amazing. We would have not have been able to create our family without them. They are generously paid. I think a lot of people think that they don't get paid, because I know in Canada and other countries it's illegal to get paid. For us, because that's all we knew, damn well they better be paid. They are providing us with an amazing gift and service to help us expand our family. Once the egg retrieval was done, our IVF doctor did a scan of all of the eggs and let us know how many were viable. In the end, the retrieval produced 25 eggs. Out of those 25, 22 of them were viable. In Chris and I's case, our goal was to have twins, one from me and one from Chris. I was given 11 viable eggs and Chris was given 11 viable eggs. We'd already gone through our health screening, our sperm testing. So at that point, our IVF doctor utilized my sperm, fertilized my 11 eggs, and did the same with Chris. Once the eggs are fertilized, there is a waiting period and hopes that some of these eggs, if not all of them, reach blastocyst, meaning that the fertilized egg has now turned into an embryo and is viable for implantation. Out of Chris's 11 fertilized eggs, 9 of them turned into viable embryos. And unfortunately on my end, I had fewer. If I can remember correctly, I went from 11 to 4. For us intended parents, we would be happy and lucky and blessed enough to have just 2 healthy babies, one from each of us. Gender didn't matter. In a perfect world, I was really hoping to have a girl, and Chris really wanted a boy. And for me, all of my viable embryos were boys. Fine, great. And Chris, because he is just such an amazing human with very strong sperm, his 9 viable embryos were a mix of boys and girls.